kind of bopping to that countdown there. It was quite a groovy little tune.
Right? It's a little ditty. It's so funny. I feel like every time I do the countdown, I feel like, there should be something more dramatic at the end of it because the music feels like it's anticipation.
It's building.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the curtain should open to a grand show.
But instead it just opens and it's just us like, hey!
It's just us. Hey, guys.
How's it going? Well, speaking of, hello, everyone. Welcome to a fun little, write-in. Hopefully we'll be able to get a few words in today. Obviously, I am here with Lovis. Hopefully a few of you already know Lovis, but if you want to just kind of kick off and tell anyone who's here who you are, just in case they don't know.
Sure. I mean, I recognize a few people in the chat, so hello to people who do know me. To those of you who don't, I am Lovis. I am also an author tuber. I have a channel where I post content about reading and writing ecofiction, which is fiction where the environment and our relationship with it kind of plays a major role. And in my writing, that's what I like to write as well, and I write eco-fantasy. So I like to merge my love of everything ecological with my love of everything fantastical. And then I write eco-fantasy. And during the day, I just handed in my PhD. So I was a PhD student, and I study kind of marine movement ecology and evolution. And I code. I'm a coder. So yeah, that's about me in a nutshell. That's what I'm all about. So yes.
I love that. We're the nerdy folks on YouTube. I also code for my work, so
we are the nerdy folks. We are the nerdy folks. We love the nerds. I've done a couple of videos where I've been asking for recommendations of fantasy stories that focus on the nerds, like the ecologists, the scientists, that they are the main characters. I want more nerdiness in my fantasy. So that's what I'm writing.
Yes. So you got to provide it, at a certain point, if the story's not out there yet, you got to make it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. All right. So it seems like we have a couple of folks who are already here. Drama lovers here. Hello. Good to see you. Wendy, good to see you. Looks like Luke Skywalker is here as well. Hello, howdy. Are you from the South? Or let me know, because I used to very unironically say howdy to people all the time because I'm like originally from Texas. So I'm just wondering, if we're kinsmen.
If we're kinsmen.
And yes, congratulations on finishing your PhD. That's such a big thing. How does it feel? How does it feel being, doctor?
Well, I mean, it was a massive relief. It was a massive weight lifted off my shoulders when I finally handed it in. Of course, you still have that like residual anxiety where you wake up in the middle of the night thinking like, did I send in the wrong version, or am I like, oh, I didn't put in that figure or whatever. But now I still have to defend it. So end of the month is my defense. And after that, I am doctor. But yes, so the defense is coming up, which I'm trying not to think about too much because otherwise I will have a mental breakdown. But I'm focusing on less stressful things like NaNoWriMo.
Like writing 50,000 words in a month. Yeah, exactly. Really setting the bar high for yourself.
Yeah.
Awesome. So is anyone seeing me? Am I like super pixelated? I'm looking at like the live stream and it looks like pretty bad. I can't tell if it's like my internet.
I mean, I can see you and you're not jittery or anything. Okay. It's a little bit pixelated. It kind of comes and goes. Like right now you're fairly clear. Okay. And then when you move a lot, it doesn't keep up so well. Awesome. You just have to stay still.
Let me know if it gets super bad. Maybe in our first sprint, I'll try and troubleshoot some things. But it says I have full Wi-Fi. The phoenix of technology. Love that. Just wanted to be different from anyone who says hello. I totally get that. Sometimes hi and hello, they just get a little too mundane. Got to mix it up a little bit. Absolutely, Lovis. You're going to do great. We believe in you.
Oh, the positive vibes. They'll help. They'll help. Send them on the 29th of November.
Yes, I know. How are things going in terms of like your word count and writing? Are you kind of where you wanted to be? I know you're like kind of in the brainstorming phase.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know if I count as a nano rebel, but maybe I do. I'm not drafting yet. Or if I am, I'm doing it in a very strange way. Because I am a 110% plotter, and by the end of Preptober, I did not have an outline.
Yeah.
So I could not physically start writing. I spent most of October trying to nail down my magic system, and my magic system has so much influence on my plot that I couldn't do one without the other. So
Yeah.
I had to really work through my magic system, and that took a long time. And I didn't have an outline ready. I was in nano denial. I was like, yeah, I could definitely do this. No problem. No problem. Problem. Yeah, no. Did not happen. So now my daily words are me writing out like a really detailed, hopefully, outline. And
Yeah.
then I'll just continue building out until I hopefully have some kind of zero draft
Yeah.
by the end of the month. But
Got you.
tonight, during the sprints, my word counts might be fairly low because I'm still thinking, I'm still brainstorming, and most of my words will just be thought dumps and ideas for scenes and stuff. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm kind of also I'm doing like a mixture of like actually drafting and kind of plotting where I'm kind of making sure I can see like 5 feet ahead of me, you know, at any given time. So like I spend my nano time as a mixture between like actually writing everything and you know, trying to plot out like the next few scenes like more in detail. Like I think I know generally what I want for them to happen, but like coming up with more specific stuff so that like when I start writing, I already have, you know, ideas and snippets of dialogue and things going down. So it's been interesting and testing out this method of drafting.
Yeah. So predictably, I am several thousand words behind where I should be on Nano's like path to success, but every now and then I get a brain wave, and then I can get quite a few words down. And dictation is my friend, so
Hey.
dictate on those dog walks.
Yeah, I know. Lovis has really been preaching the gospel of dictation. If anyone wants any tips or to know about her experience, she's got a wealth of knowledge on dictation.
It's great because you don't have to remember anything that you brainstorm because it's all recorded.
Yeah.
So just and it gets your body moving. I always have better ideas when I'm moving. So yeah, I love dictation. It's great. And you get home and you're like, oh, I have like 900 words.
Yeah,
and
I've
I
done
just
so
went for a
much.
dog walk.
Yeah, I've got walked the dog and I have some words.
Yeah,
it's great multitasking.
It's the key.
Yeah, no, that is kind of the key. I feel like in November when everyone's super crunched for time on everything is figure out how to do as much in once as possible. But
yeah,
so it seems like we have a few more people who joined. Hey, Michaela, good to see you. I stopped writing to continue planning, so my word count is now nowhere where it needs to be. Yeah, I totally get that.
Totally get it.
That was like my Saturday where I was planning to like write a lot. And then I was like, I think I really would rather, you know, sit down and figure out some of these plot questions that I have. So I spent a few hours on that. And so at the end, you know, it doesn't look like I've done that much in terms of nano word count, but I've like done a lot for my story. So totally get that. You're still doing
count those plotting words. Count them.
Oh, you know, I should. They're not in my manuscript. So I haven't, you know, like I have them in a separate document, I should say. So when I just look at my total document, but maybe I should. You're inspiring me, Lovis.
I think it would make you feel better about your nano progress.
No, that's very true. I mean, right now I'm pretty behind because I didn't write very much yesterday. So
yeah, and anything that makes you feel less under pressure during nano
is good. I support this message. I fully support this message. I'm doing a mix of plotting and drafting. I can count the plotting rounds. Yeah. See, look.
Yeah.
Not the only one with this very
Wendy
solid
says
advice.
So do it.
It's true. But it sounds like a lot of us are kind of doing a mixture of this plotting and drafting, so that's
I
great.
mean, it's one of those things, whenever Nano rolls around, it's like you really have to be in the right place. Like, if you
Yeah.
have a project, even if you do Preptober, you know, because it's not like I wasn't working on it in October, but I was not ready, and then I felt this pressure to start writing, and I was like, "Hang on, no, I'm not a pantser. This is
Yeah.
giving me heart palpitations. Stop it."
This is not who I am.
No, so I decided, Nano, I'm rebelling. I'm
Yeah.
but I wanted to use, like, the momentum of the
Yeah.
community and the motivation and stuff,
Mhm.
and everybody kind of online and cheering each other on and
Yeah.
stuff, so I'm using it, I'm just not using it for drafting yet.
Yes. No, I totally get that. Totally get that. Well, speaking of the synergy that comes from other people in NaNoWriMo, if we want, I think we can hop into our first sprint. We'll do a shorter one. Lovis and I were talking about this earlier. We both kind of like longer actual sprints because you can kind of get a little more into it. So I think we can look forward to some post 20-minute sprints later on. But we'll start out with a fun little, I think, 15-minute sprint just to get everybody, you know, open up the Word doc, get your notebook where you want it, make sure you have your coffee. Everything's all ready for the writing sprints to come. If that sounds good with people.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just seeing in the comments that Luke Skywalker is talking about the project he has with Wendy,
Yeah.
and I didn't know that you were the co-writer. I saw
Oh,
you in the
hey!
Discord, but I
Oh
didn't
my
know you were the
goodness!
co-writer, so that's very exciting. Hello.
Yeah, I feel like we've heard about you. We've heard so much
We've
about your
heard about
project you
you.
guys are working on together. That's super awesome. Yeah, about 40% plotted out. It sounds like a really big
That's cool.
project. I know
Sounds
from everything
massive.
Wendy's been saying. So it sounds so cool.
Yes, doing great in
Doing great.
caps.
Absolutely. You guys are doing great. Go, you guys. Are you guys going to be working on that in this sprint or in this stream, I should say? Let us know for sure. And honestly, everybody, if you haven't already, pop in what you're working on during the sprint in the chat. On
And what your nano goal is, if
yeah.
you're doing the 50K or if you're rebelling a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. All righty. Let's see. Is that guy on? Oh, there he is. Love it. Okay. All right. I think that if everybody's ready, we will we'll go ahead and launch in.
Great.
Let's go.
See you in 15.
All right. That's it. How was that?
That was pretty good, actually. I just kind of, I couldn't really, there was no inspiration for new scenes, so I just picked a scene that I hadn't written anything for and just kind of wrote. And something very strange happened. My book is written in first person present, and I just started writing the scene in third person past.
Oh my gosh, I love when your brain just switches entirely.
But it just felt so natural, and I really actually like what I wrote. It's very, I don't know, I like it. But I'm like, that's not the perspective that I'm writing the story from, so I don't know what happened.
Crisis, maybe? Is there a switch?
There might be. I mean, I haven't actually written that much of this story, so I could switch. Oh god.
Gotcha. No, that's so funny. I feel like the decision of like whether or not to do first person, third person, or close or omniscient or whatever is like I feel like I always toil over it, and then I get into it and I just disagree with myself.
Yeah.
Because I had my book is written in third person, like close, for my main character, and I've written some stuff like in first person, and I also kind of like it. And I'm like, is there a way I could sneak this in somewhere? Like maybe she has a journal or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also have 2 points of view, so I have to make them sound very distinct, and that's really hard to do in first person.
Yeah.
It's obviously possible, but it's a struggle for me. And I don't know if that's any easier in third, because I actually started writing in first person because I felt that you could hear my voice as the author too much, and it wasn't like if I made it first person, then it was just the personality of the character coming out, and then it worked much better. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I got better, or maybe this is an anomaly.
Right. The eternal question.
Yeah.
Is this sign for a change, or is this really an anomaly?
How did you do?
I did okay. I will admit I spent the first little while like looking into like internet troubleshooting, and because I do think that there's something happening with my internet, like my upload speed, there's something very slow. But anyhow, so I went on a rabbit hole about that, as you do. Once you start Googling something, you just go down the rabbit hole. But then I stopped myself and I got everything set up. I'm torn because I was looking at the Discord and all the wonderful suggestions people had. Because in the Discord, I had asked a question about if anyone had ideas for like fun like traditions or rituals, or like I don't know, kind of like games requirements that a person might need to go through in order to get married. Because kind of in my book, there's this like sort of fake dating plot, and they're pretending like they're going to get married, so they have to go through all these like checkpoints, and I want to come up with some, and people came up with such awesome ideas. So I've just been going back through them and like detailing them down and thinking about how maybe I could like take pieces of this and like stretch them out into this world, which is important because this will form like the backbone of like the main plot. Kind of at this point, I feel like I've actually plotted out more for my subplots than I have for like the main plot, which feels like backwards. So I need like a few, some of these events will be like markers almost in the story, and it's like the work up to them and like what happens after them will be big parts of the main plot. So anyhow, I was starting on working on that and kind of making that together. So I think actually I'm torn. Either in the next sprint I will keep working on that like kind of plotting, because I think it'll make it so much easier for me to write, or I'll just jump into this next scene, which I'm also very excited to write, which I have mostly thought out. So the eternal struggle.
The eternal struggle. Yes, because I have that too. I'm like, if I get everything sorted, then I can just write. I could just pick a scene and write.
Yeah.
But it's not sorted yet.
I know. And I would rather like it to be.
I would rather like it to be. Yes, I would prefer it to be sorted.
Yes. But it sounds like other folks had a good first sprint. It looks like Fralu joined us. Excellent. Hope you got a few words in. 272 words. That's great for a first sprint. I feel like first sprint is the warm up. So that's excellent words for a warm up.
It is, yeah.
Very similar. Got 242. Wonderful. Michaela got 156. Awesome. 76. Not a yikes at all. I feel like the fact you got any words at all in the first sprint, big news.
Big news.
Big news. I very much did not. So you're ahead of me. You're killing it. You're killing it. Hello, Better Days. Good to see you. I'm writing in first person present, and I'm told it's the toughest way to write. I don't know. Do you think? What do you think? I feel like people have opinions on this. Capital O.
Well, I mean, I think it does. I think it is a very individual thing. Some tenses and some perspectives just come easier to some people. Like the first person was so much easier for me to write because I had already kind of injected so much like sass and sarcasm into the prose, but when it was in third person, it didn't really work because you could hear the narrator, and I didn't want that. And so the switch to first was so much easier for me. So I kind of like took the easy way out for me.
Yeah.
But other people really don't like writing in first person and present tense as well. But sometimes I find first person past tense to be kind of strange. Like it only really works if the character is telling the story. Although I have read examples where it took me a minute to get into it and then I was fine. But first person present just works so much better for me. It's like third person past and first person present. Those are my two combos. But yeah, it is tough. It is tough. Because then you have to think so much about the thought process of the character. Like you can't just info dump because it's not logical for that character to be thinking everything through because it's just normal life for them. Whereas in third person, you can get away with that a little bit more. Still don't want to info dump, but you can get away with it a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a bit like writing continuous dialogue because it's this character speaking. And so everything you say kind of has to be in their voice and like, their perspective and the way that they would say it and everything. I guess, all writing should have voice of that sort, but I've always found that to be very interesting. I just personally really struggle with present tense for some reason. I don't know. I just like stories in my head are in past tense. So like I can never get away from that. So so third person has worked really well because I think it's easier to do third person past. Although I also like first person past. But I've been kind of, because I'm writing in close third, my character is also quite sassy. She has some opinions. She does. But I've been having a fun time because I'm thinking of this as like, this is her story and it's so close. Like we are in her perspective, even though it's not like really first person. So a lot of her sass and like the way she would think about things, I'm just sort of stating in a way that's like, I think hopefully very clear that it's coming from her, if that makes any sense. Like that the prejudice of this narration is very clearly her prejudice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that comes from doing it well, which I was clearly not. So this was version, I don't know what, of this eternally revised and rewritten book. So I hope I've gotten better since then, and maybe that's what I'm seeing. But yeah,
it's hard.
But I also find like first person present is very like tense, or there's good tension because you're like experiencing it as it happens, and it's like it's happening to you. As long as you've immersed the reader properly, then the reader is like experiencing everything as it happens. And of course you can get that with third person. Most books are written in third person, but I like that about first person. So it's an interesting thing. I don't know why my brain decided today was a third person day.
Yes. No, definitely. Alrighty, let's see. It is indeed very tough, but that's the voice of your story. Go with it. Yeah, absolutely. I feel like at a certain point, like we were saying, you just gotta feel it out. Does anyone else feel that way? You kind of just like take a guess. You're like, I think this should be in first person, and then you roll with it and see if you're wrong.
And if you're wrong, you fix it.
You
and it's
just,
fine.
that's literally, you know, the eternal process of revision, right?
Yeah.
I honestly can't imagine any other way. That's a good sign. It's a good sign that you're on the right track, I feel like. If you've picked something and you feel like you can't imagine the story a different way, that's probably the right way for the story. Makes sense. Hey, precious cousins. Good to see you. Kapuki's here too. Hi. Let's see. I don't know. I've never written in first person present. I've written in first person past, though. Yeah, I've also written in first person past.
Interesting.
I don't think I've ever written. I've never written in present tense of any sort. I don't think. But I certainly have read books in present tense. I don't know if it bothered me then. Maybe it's just like when I'm writing, I have a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just switch to past. My brain.
I mean,
like,
the Hunger
really...
Games and Divergent are first person present.
Are they? Got you. I mean, I've definitely read them. I don't know if I noticed. It was a long time ago.
I mean, I think they are. Because Hunger Games definitely is. And I think I reread it to when I realized that I wanted to write first person present. I think I reread it and I was trying to pick out like techniques. And then I just got so immersed in the story that I forgot to do that. And so I think that's what if you stop trying to analyze it because you get swept up in the story, it's a good story.
Yeah, you've done it well. That's a good benchmark for like it's going well. Oh, it looks like Luke had to go. I don't know if you're still here, but goodbye. Thanks for coming and sprinting with us for a little bit. Okay, well, it sounds like we had a good first sprint. If we wanted, do we want to jump into something maybe a little longer, a little meatier?
Yeah.
Get a few real deal words down. Okay, so I'm definitely thinking a post 20-minute sprint. But does anyone have opinions on how much post?
How much post?
What are we thinking? I could be brave, and I could go all the way up to 30, you know. But if we have preferences between 20 and 30 on the lower or higher end, definitely let us know. And we can pick something. Just yes, please.
Just sprint. I need words.
Let's just sprint. Absolutely. Yes, please to all of the above, potentially. To the 30-minute, to the 20-minute. Do let us know. Okay, 25 to 30. That's fair.
25.
Nice.
Good. 25 is a good one.
Make whatever work. 25 to 30 would be great. Okay, awesome. Let's go with a little 26.
Ooh, a 26.
Just be a little rebels. I feel like we always do 25. You know, we gotta mix it up. That's what I'm saying. You know,
because the first minute you got to get yourself sorted, and then you still have the full 25 to write.
So this is 1 minute to pull everything up, and then 25 minutes to actually write.
Nice.
Awesome.
Like
okay.
It.
All right. Okay. Well, if everyone's feeling good, let's go.
See you on the other side.
All righty. And that's that. How was
And
that,
that's
Lovis?
That was good. I just continued with that scene, just with third person. This is how it's doing today. And what did I get? 660. It's not bad.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's great. I think I got, let's see, I got 420.
Hey.
420 words. Which is awesome. I ended up I spent like the first few minutes deliberating whether I wanted to plot or write. And then I was like, no, I think that I really want to write this scene. The scene is the inciting incident, basically. So it was afoot. But sometimes I find that it's helpful when I'm writing, like do a little journal entry beforehand, just state how I'm feeling emotionally, because it like warms up my fingers, I think, a little bit, and also just like gets out the jitters. And then I feel like I can like sink in to like whatever other world. It's like I've already dealt with the real world. So I spent a little time being like, I'm so grateful for NaNoWriMo and Lovis and this live stream. And then I felt ready to like sink in. So that's what I did. And then I sketched out the whole scene, just like wrote a little paragraph on like what the scene will look like, and like 420 words of the actual scene. So that's what I did.
Well, I would count those other words.
I know. It's just
you're
they're
being
not
far
in my
too...
manuscript. I need to like go somewhere with them and then add it, But in my manuscript, I think part of it is because I'm really hoping that I can hit 8,000 words of actual manuscript, because I think I can. I say as a person who is currently a full day behind.
Who isn't a full day behind?
We're making it. But okay, so it sounds like a few people kind of joined us during the sprint. I think Boone stopped in to say hi. I don't know if he's still here, Boone, but good to see you. Also, Krapook reached 30K. That's awesome.
That is awesome. On day 8, how dare you?
Yeah. I have to know, are you a Nano Rebel? Did you like start your story before NaNoWriMo and this is your 30K, or have you literally hit 30K in the first 8 days of NaNoWriMo? I'm really impressed either way, but I would love to know. Terribly curious. Absolutely, congratulations. Word Charm says they just found us, but not quite sure I'm the sci-fi nerdy type, so I'm happy to have found your channels. Well, I will say I think Lovis and I are both writing fantasy. I think maybe, Lovis, you have a little bit more sciencey elements, perhaps than I do.
have a lot of sciencey elements, yeah, because I like stories where I don't know, I learn a little something. Like when this book comes out, if this book comes out, you'll learn pretty much my entire PhD thesis because I study like population dynamics and dispersal and ecology and stuff, and you'll learn about that because that's what I geek out about. That's what I nerd out about. So that's what's going in my writing. So you don't have to be nerdy to enjoy this kind of story, but maybe we can convert you. Maybe we'll make you nerdy.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the fun of it. I think the most fun in writing stories like this is taking something that typically would be like a big yawn and making it really interesting and exciting.
Yeah.
Like making it accessible is the cool part of it. But
for sure.
I'm always threatening to write my fantasy accounting story.
I desperately want to read your fantasy accounting story because it's not my wheelhouse. It's not my interest, and I am dying for you to make it interesting for me. So please, at some point, write your fantasy accounting story.
I'm hoping it's a litin bit how, when Lin-Manuel Miranda was pitching Hamilton as, like a rap opera about the founding fathers, and everyone was like, that sounds horrible. I don't know why you do that. I just think it'd be so funny to take something that is so historically uninteresting, but make it really interesting. That's the challenge,
I think you should.
So one day I might do it. I might do it. But yeah, so Shar is here. Hey, Shar, good to see you. Word Chime said, by the way, Lovis, I watched your AuthorTube newbie video. Would you ever do a video on your detailed plotting method mentioned there? That would be interesting. I feel like your plotting method is pretty cool.
My plotting method. Maybe I need to rewatch my YouTube
Like,
newbie video. My plotting method.
Especially interested in your value system for scenes. That's fascinating. What is your value
That
system?
is fascinating. I am fascinated. I am
fascinated by my
Can you jog my memory, word charm? I'm so sorry. I think that's an old video. I don't know exactly what you mean. But I'm more than happy to do a video on that when I know what that is. But yes, I will do a video on that if you want me to.
Yeah.
Just jog my memory.
That sounds really interesting. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea if this is actually what you were talking about, but maybe like sometimes I think about, you know, the like importance of scenes, and like when I'm plotting, I'll often like start with only the most important ones that like ranked in my head are like vital. And so that'll start as my skeleton, and then I start adding on. No idea if that's anything related to what you were saying.
Maybe.
But
maybe.
Lovis is like
I'm sorry, I have absolutely zilch. I've got nothing.
It's too funny. You confound yourself.
I know. I cannot keep up.
Alrighty. So looks like we got some great word counts. 436 and about to start a new scene. That's awesome. Awesome. Got 483. It feels good. That's great. You know, feeling good, half the battle.
Yeah.
358. That's
What's
awesome.
the crying face? Oh, that's not a cry. There's still a smile there. That's fine.
It's the sad.
I was gonna say you should be very happy with 358.
It's an excellent word count. You're doing well. We're also, you know, I feel like I'm still warming into the day, so may or may not get faster as things go on. I don't know what time it is for you. Well, yeah, and I started 2 days early. Oh my
well,
goodness.
that explains it.
Oh my goodness. But still,
you had 10 days. Well, that's not impressive. Honestly.
30K in 10 days is crazy. Like,
that is crazy. Well done. Awesome. We applaud you.
You are killing it. Go you. Absolutely. We are cheering you on. Love to see it. Totally exploring my world at the moment. I love how it develops, though. There are so many new things I find out through writing. You know, I was just thinking about this because my characters are running right now. You know, they're trying to get from one end of like the castle to the other end of the castle in like a certain period of time. But like as she's passing things, I'm like kind of describing, because like this castle details like a lot of the history in like the art there. And so like as she's passing things, I'm like kind of, I don't actually know if this will make it, like if this is a good way to do world building, but it's fun for me that I'm like, oh, and there's like this, you know, stained glass window that's sort of telling this type of story that like leads into like how they molded the staircase and like, you know, like just kind of like describing it. And so for me, I feel like I'm exploring this castle with them, but also getting down the very important like world building that you need to know, that at least I need to know.
No, I think that's a really good way to do it. Movement is always good. If you get your characters moving, then the scene is moving forward. There's some kind of, you know, you're not stagnant. It's not doesn't get boring. Your scene is moving and you avoid info dumping because you're like you've got pace in the scene, right? And you can you can sprinkle in all these world building details. I think that's a really good way.
Yeah.
I was watching, was it Aaron Sorkin's masterclass on like writing for TV and stuff, and he was talking about how, you know, in the West Wing, most of the scenes, like the characters are like walking from one office to the next or something, and that's where they do a lot of the back and forth and setting the scene for the viewers to know what the heck is going on, because it has a different energy than if you sit there and say it. You're still saying it, but if you're moving, then it has a different energy and it feels better.
It literally has motion, you know?
It has motion.
Got some kinetic energy to it. Yeah, no. So I don't know. This may or may not. I feel like it's something that could be done well or could be done very poorly. I don't know how I'm doing it right now, but it's very fun. I'm enjoying it. That's what matters.
Sorry, I just yeah.
Scrolling through the comments. Yeah.
I'm scrolling.
People
it's jogging my memory.
Yeah. Okay, and also I loved your Story Genius video. about how that pulls the reader through. Any evolution on that and how you've drafted more? No, this is really interesting. So this is something that I had noticed like when I first started trying to write fiction after having done so much academic writing and everything else. It's like trying to figure out how to not just like state facts and like because it's so boring if you just state facts. And so I was like, what makes line level prose interesting? And I came up with this sort of theory, which is probably partially true, but there's probably a better way. Someone has said it better than I'm saying it now. But that like, you know, the way you describe things becomes interesting depending on how much context you give it. And that's sort of what I'm playing with, I think, right now with this whole like, you know, passing the stained glass window or whatnot, that like the stained glass window is not really that interesting it's a stained glass window. I mean, it's pretty, but like you can't see it. So I can kind of describe it for you, but whatever. But it's interesting in the context that it places her in and kind of reminding her of this challenge that she has with like this war that's going on, this political intrigue and this history, this long, heavy history that this country has that she's in. And that context is interesting. But the stained glass window isn't. So to the extent to which you can add in that context as you're writing, to me, that reminder has been very helpful to keep me from just being like, and then they ran, and then they opened the door. And then, you know what I mean? Which is so boring.
But also Story Genius, like on a larger scale, like it gives you so much context for your characters, right? Because you do so much work up front. So you know your character's origin story and how they came to think the way that they think and all the experiences that they've had. And that also helps to ground your story and make it feel real and like it has depth. And then that's something that the reader can connect to, and that's why it pulls you forward, kind of thing. And we've done, you've been talking about some work that you did with that. You've been writing lots of scenes like that.
Definitely. And I probably, you know, this is a good reminder word charm. I think I've been meaning to make more of a video on this and kind of how it's been going, like my sort of Story Genius update on how things are. So I might do something that gets a little bit more in depth on that, but that's a good idea. It's definitely very interesting. I'm, as always, the Story Genius sponsor, looking for my cut from Lisa Crone.
Still not cut.
Still not, you know, I need to Venmo request her that
hey, send her an invoice.
I just feel like I talk about it all the time. But okay, so we got a few more word counts. So Michaela got close to 200 words, but only wrote for 10 minutes. Hey, that's awesome.
That's pretty good.
10 minutes is great. Just Ravs, hey, you're here. Hello. I love that you think my fantasy accounting story is funny. I would hope to make it really funny. That would be the goal, is that it would be like a really funny, like interesting thing. I kind of want to base it off of like famous accounting scandals, because there have been many, and you could just pick one. Oh, well,
famous accounting stuff.
To the accountants, all my accountants here.
In niche circles.
Right? Those who know will know, you know?
Yeah. If you know, you know.
Definitely. Okay, so let's see. True about the nerdy themes. I love weaving psychology in my stories. Yeah.
This is how, I mean, this is something, a writing tip that Patrick Rothfuss, the author of Name of the Wind, says a lot when he's asked how to make something unique. And it's what you put into it of yourself. And if you write what you are passionate about, it will be unique, because that combination of things, like no one's going to write that like you. And if you don't put anything that you're passionate about in there, anyone could have written it, right? So if you inject, like, who is going to write an epic fantasy story with ecological messages that teaches you about population ecology? Like,
Lovis.
I don't know. Me. Yeah. Because that's my life.
Yeah. Definitely. No. I think that's very true.
And who is going to write a fantasy accounting story other than you?
It's going to be me. And you're going to love it.
I'm going to love it so much.
It's the challenge, right? Okay, so this is the context that we were looking for. So in a video, you just mentioned that you were so detailed in plotting that you even rate scenes on how many times they'll need to be edited post first draft. That's very interesting. Tell us more.
Well, I had, so this is where I would have loved to be at before Nano. and I am not. But last Nano, I had all of my scenes written out. I knew exactly what order they were in, and I knew kind of that was already another version of an old story, so I knew which ones I had started, and so I rated them from like done to haven't started at all and anything in between. And
Gotcha.
then I kind of gave myself like a percentage done, and then so that I knew at the bottom
Yeah.
how much of the book I had written, not just
Yeah.
with finished scenes, but with started scenes and
Wow.
scenes that needed to have another pass at editing. So I had like color coded, I had percentages, and so I had a little tracker bar at the bottom. Yeah,
Wow.
that's how intensely I would love to have this book like mapped out.
I love a good spreadsheet. So
I mean, you know,
this is
you
another
and
one
I
to
with our
find out.
tables, we love them.
No, that's awesome. That sounds really helpful for revision, especially to like
Yeah.
be able to go back and see like where
Yeah, and then
you
if I have that spreadsheet, I can add like editing and revision notes to each
Yeah.
scene, because there were many, and I can move things around, and then I also know exactly, you know, where I'm at and how much I need to finish, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it was really good, and I'm sure I will create it again, and then when I do that, I will make a video for you.
Yeah, please do. Absolutely. I would love to see like this spreadsheet, like how you like it's I feel like you have a good eye for putting together tables and things as we've
Love me
seen
a good
already.
table.
So love to see how you organize this for sure. That'd be a fascinating video. I also would like to see that.
Okay, majority rules.
Put it on the list. Love that, building the details while writing. Yeah, I feel like that's the fun of NaNoWriMo. You get to kind of like discover things as you're going, which is cool. Or maybe an accountant having to establish GAAP. What GAAP is in a fancy world? No, let me tell you. Anyone who doesn't know what GAAP is, it's the generally accepted accounting principles, mainly US accounting. So yeah, it's a little different internationally, probably for you, Lovis. But I just think it would be so fun to come up with like a monetary system and, you know, like play with the economics of it, and then the people who are in the nitty-gritty of recording what happens, and like different fantasy ways that like potentially you could be recording these types of value exchanges and stuff, and there could be magic involved. Maybe the magic is like part of the currency or something, and the people hunting down these changes. But it's accounting. But it could be
But
cool.
it's accounting.
But it could be really cool.
I'm in.
Right?
I'm convinced.
Right. Yeah.
Put down your project right now. I need this book.
Shiny new idea.
Oh no.
Precious Cousins is on a research mode.
I
Awesome.
like
What are
it.
you researching for your book? Let us know what your Google search history is. You
Right.
go, Lois, write that fantasy. Yes, absolutely.
Write that fantasy.
Write
Yes.
what you want to write. It is a cool way of plotting. Definitely. We're looking forward to the video detailing it all. And Shar says, and I thought my plotting was detailed. Lovis is here to one-up us all.
Yeah, well, which is why starting Nano without it was like stress level 12.
Yeah, no, I bet. It's definitely been interesting for me trying to decide what level of plotter I am. I feel like when you don't know your process yet, you're just like feeling around in the dark. You're like, does this work? What about this one? What if I try this thing?
I mean, I'm kind of collecting different plotting methods and structures and story structures and stuff, kind of trying to fill them all out to see what jumps out at me, like what is useful for me to remember about story structure. Like some of them don't work for me at all, and some of them are way too structured in their story structure. I don't know. Obviously, none of them should be used as like hard and fast rules. They're all guides and templates and such. But
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Absolutely. Love so you're being both intellectual and creative. Absolutely killing it. Hey,
it can be about it is you.
Be you if you want it to be. Awesome. Okay. Well, We are a chatty bunch.
We are a chatty bunch.
Do we want to jump into another sprint? Yes, we've been going about an hour and a half now. If we do another longer one, that'll take us to, I think, our 2-hour mark, which is kind of about where we were guesstimating tailing off the stream. So if we feel good, this could be our last sprint. Does that sound good to people?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have a feeling? I'm feeling 25-ish, maybe a little bit more just to make it a weird number. If we wanted
27?
27, we could go, we're just inching up, 26, 25, 26, 27, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we got a few more thoughts before we jump into one. I started Nano on day 6 and I'm a little stressed too. Kind of let go of the thought of winning. I just want to write the story and see how far I come with it. That's a very healthy mindset. And
I think
honestly,
so too.
Spirit of Nano is just, I think, making time for writing and getting out the story that you want to get out. So 50K or not, you're winning. 100%. Same Danica. I learned I can't jump into cases without logic chains. That leads to a lot of talking with Luke, trying to figure it out on my own. Yeah, absolutely. It's just hard, I feel like, for me to just fully dive in with no idea what's going on. Gotta kind of have an idea of what's happening. Alex is here, jumping on for some sprints. Yes, we're about to get into one, so hopefully you'll be able to get some words done. Precious Cousins is researching to find the characteristics I want my main characters to have. Yes.
Nice.
I feel like I spent a lot of time on personality trait test websites and stuff when I was like brainstorming my characters and stuff. Lots of fun. Yes, we're good. Okay. We're all ready for more sprints. How about 28? Ooh.
28. I'm happy with
sold.
28.
I'm absolutely sold. Not writing the sprint, have to memorize the entire British English. Oh my goodness. What? Good luck. If you can do that in our 28-minute sprint, let us know. Be very impressed. And Phoebe's here. Hey, Phoebe.
Hello.
You're just in time for another sprint. So I'm going to go get us set up for our very ambitious 28 minutes. Love to see it. We're just inching up towards 30 minutes. That's all I want in my life. Alrighty. Cool. All right. So I think if everybody is feeling good, we can jump right in.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Alrighty. That's the end of that. Oof, that one kind of took me by surprise. I was really in it.
The timer.
It was really in it. I don't think you guys can hear it, but
I can hear it.
Oh, gotcha. How was that?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I got another 600 words in.
Good.
I'm writing like a really feel-good scene. It's like got lots of food and like comfort and cakes and stuff, and it's just like describing how happy you are when like the thing that you're craving is what you're eating, and it's just the most satisfying feeling.
So satisfying. I love
I'm
that.
a
That's so
massive
fun.
foodie, can you tell?
I love that. You got ecology, you got food.
All the good stuff. I got all the good
stuff. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. How do you know how many words you got in that last one?
It says 606.
Gotcha. I'm just doing some quick math now. Okay, so I got 833. That was really good. Wow. I did feel like I was like writing pretty continuously for that one. I'm really getting into it now. So like they've arrived. They've gotten to the location. They ran across the palace castle and now they're there. And so things are starting to happen and it's like getting kind of spicy and the characters are like very spicy to each other, which is honestly lots of fun. So yeah, no, it's fun with them all kind of throwing underhanded insults at each other and trying to keep their calm. So, yeah. All right, so it looks like we have a lot of people with some great word counts, and Autumn's here. Hey, Autumn. Caught us right here at the end in our last little sprint. Looks like Phoebe got 846 words. Awesome.
My goodness.
In the 800 club. Love to see it. Wendy's here, 428, making that's really good progress. I don't feel like 428 is slow at all for a 20-minute sprint.
No,
that's
I think
great.
It's pretty good.
Got 819. Awesome. Just got back. Hopefully we stick around more. So that was our last sprint. So if you got a little bit in then hopefully you would be able to. Otherwise, hopefully some other folks will be having some sprints later on or soon. I feel like I love perusing YouTube and Twitch looking for a NaNoWriMo live stream.
Even if they're not live, like I'll watch old ones.
It helps.
Yeah.
It really helps. I think having the little chatty breaks and then some synergy while you're writing.
I watch a lot of the ones on Kate's channel.
I do too. I literally do too. I also have sometimes I like to have like the sound of other people writing, you know, like just the clicky sound of the keyboard is helpful. And I love Sarah LeBrat's like live, like she did like a Write With Me video. It's like an hour long. It's her most recent one that I like the most. But just the sound of her keyboard in that video is so satisfying. And so I have listened to that video so many times because I'll just like put it on in the background. And it kind of goes for an hour.
Well, maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. Maybe I'll put the link to that in the live stream description if anyone's interested. I mean, love Sarah LeBrat entirely, but her keyboard is fabulous.
I love her keyboard.
I love her and her keyboard. So yeah, definitely. Just Raz, did you say cake?
Someone said cake.
Yeah, can I have some? Can you ship some over to us from your fictional world?
I'll try.
And got 317 words. That's awesome, Raz.
Well done.
Awesome. Michaela got 382 for this one. Awesome. Got 490 this time. Very happy. It's not the best time of the day for me to write because you're an early bird. Gotcha. Yeah. No, I feel like it's always really satisfying because I'm also an early bird. So when I'm able to write a lot at night, it's like, wow. That's how I know I'm really in the zone. Shar got the phonemic. Am I saying it right? The phonemic chart and got nothing against me after that last sprint.
Yes, you show that chart who's boss.
Conquering it. Absolutely love it. Also rewatches Kate's ones. Yeah, Kate does some great live streams. Also, I feel like she has some where she is really good about, keeping us on task. I mean, we chatted a decent amount today, but
Yes, we did.
she's pretty good at keeping you on the ball and making sure that everybody's
Yeah.
actually writing. So maybe some of my streams later this month we'll do like some Pomodoro, something a little more strict.
Yeah. You can chat, but only whatever fits into 5-minute breaks.
Which is so short.
Oh, short.
Good memories of writing that draft during those lives motivates me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get good associations with lives, and it just like, I don't know, the good vibes just start to really,
Yeah.
yeah. And especially when you've listened to a live multiple times.
Exactly.
Kind of remember what it's about. But awesome.
I've just looked at my total word count, and I think I need to write another like 70 words, and then I'll hit 10K.
Oh my goodness, you're so close. Did you say 10K?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm at 9927.
Oh my goodness. You got to get those 70K out today.
I will have to break 10K today.
You got to do that. You got to do that. That's awesome. This is your 10K day.
It's my 10K day, which means I'm only a little bit behind the path to success.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I am also like catching up. I think so. I guess overall for today, I have about 1,200 words total, which is pretty good. But like I basically missed yesterday. So I need to do like my like sort of 3,000 essentially to get where I'm going, which I think will be fine. Honestly, I'm feeling motivated now. Gotten into it. I think that the scene is going to be kind of a long one, so it'll probably get me a healthy amount of words, and we're in it now. Things are moving.
In it.
So yes,
in it to win it.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, alrighty. Well, I think that we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. So if you want, Lovis, for any of the new folks who have joined us, maybe don't know you, do you want to give yourself a little outro plug?
Oh, well, sure. Yes, I am Lovis. I'm also an author tuber, and my channel is where you will find lots of nerdiness, lots of nerdy books. I review books, so it's also a booktube channel, and I talk all about reading and writing, eco-fiction, and how it can be used as a science communication tool. That's what I talk about, and I post every Wednesday. That's about it. That's what I do.
The big main details, and links to Lovis will be down below. And if you refresh this page in about 5 minutes after the stream, I will also put up Sarah's typing video if anybody is interested in that in the description of this live. If you stumbled upon this and, just on YouTube and don't know who I am, I'm Danica. I am also an author tuber, kind of documenting my writing journey. Currently working on Project Red, which is my YA fantasy enemies to lovers romance. So I post kind of vlogs and updates on that, and also do, a lot of different live streams, especially during NaNoWriMo, because I enjoy the synergy of writing with other people. I just posted a vlog this morning of my first week of Nano, which also encompasses kind of a little writing retreat that I went on with some other fun YouTubers last week. Good friends of Lovis and I. So if you want, you can go ahead and check that out. But otherwise, I'll be having hopefully some more streams this month. So keep an eye out on my channel if you you like streams or you liked this stream and want to come hang out with us again. So awesome. Alrighty. Well, yes, thank you guys for coming.
Yes,
good to see you, Ravs. And I hope that you all I hope that NaNoWriMo is treating you super well, and you're doing well in terms of your goals, or you're happy with the progress that you're making for yourself, because really any progress is good progress.
Yes. Any progress is good progress.
As long as you're trying, that's really all that matters. Alrighty. Well, good to see you all. Hope you have a good rest of your day and a good rest of NaNoWriMo. See y'all in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.